We've been discussing here for a while now how the financial world is undergoing a massive transformation from an outdated analog system to a cutting-edge digital revolution. But wait until you hear this. Someone huge just joined the movement. In today's video, I'll reveal how the future of finance is undeniably tied to blockchain technology and digital assets like XRP. Trust me, you won't believe who's now backing these groundbreaking blockchain projects. Stick around until the end because we'll dive into a critical market shift that could show us exactly where XRP is headed next. Oh, buckle up. This one's going to blow your mind. For years, our vision was way ahead of what major institutions and government regulators were willing to embrace. We pushed for upgrading outdated systems with better technology, only to face serious resistance, especially from the SEC. Funny enough, the SEC was one of the loudest critics, dismissing this technology as nothing more than a speculative pump and dump scheme with no real world value. They cracked down hard over the last 4 years, making their stance crystal clear, but oh, how quickly things can change. Fast forward to today, and the SEC has done a complete 180. In a surprising turn, they're now actively discussing the shift from traditional off-chain databases to blockchain-based on-chain ledger systems. It's wild what just a few months can do to reshape perspectives. Even for the toughest critics, the shift of securities from off-chain to on-chain is as revolutionary as the leap from vinyl records to cassette tapes to digital streaming. Just like those advancements reshaped entire industries, this transition is set to redefine finance. Imagine the US leading the charge as the crypto capital of the world, fueling a financial revolution powered by blockchain and cryptocurrency technology. This isn't just speculation. It's coming from the SEC, the world's most powerful financial regulator. They're signaling that blockchain-based systems will play a crucial role in rebuilding the financial system as we know it. For years, the idea of widespread adoption felt like a distant dream, something that might happen one day. But now the tide has turned. Major financial institutions are no longer sitting on the fence. They're making it loud and clear. This won't be built on private databases or closed off blockchain systems. The future is on public ledgers. And it's not just the banks driving this shift. Government regulators are stepping in too, aligning with this vision. What once seemed far off is now becoming a reality, with both the financial giants and policymakers paving the way forward. It's surprising how some people still struggle to see the bigger picture here. We're at a point in the evolution of the internet where most agree this technology is too significant to overlook. Yet many haven't fully realized just how transformative this is going to be. The changes coming are massive, not just for the value of these assets, but for the entire global economy. Many are still underestimating what's about to unfold, but that understanding is coming fast. For the first time, we've got the two key ingredients: buy-in from the powerhouses managing trillions of dollars and the regulators giving them the green light. It's wild to see this unfolding right before our eyes, and the shift in narratives is becoming impossible to ignore. Just today, WisdomTree.one of the heavyweight ETF providers released a fresh take highlighting why they believe adding XRP alongside Bitcoin is not just smart, but a game changer for investor portfolios. This marks a pivotal moment as the industry begins to expand beyond a Bitcoin-only mindset, embracing crypto assets with real-world utility. The story is just getting started, and the evolution is bound to shake things up in ways we've only begun to imagine. It was clear from the start that everything would kick off once the Ripple versus SEC case reached its conclusion. And guess what? Now that it's behind us, the dominoes are beginning to fall. More and more financial institutions are waking up and saying, hey, it's time to embrace this technology. With regulatory uncertainty out of the way and competitors diving in, no one wants to be left behind. Ripple's use of XRP is about to become a no-brainer for traditional investment firms. Why? Because these firms are laser focused on getting their clients into blue chip digital assets. And XRP fits that description perfectly. The real excitement, though, comes from the sheer scale of volume waiting on the sidelines. What's potentially on the horizon makes the previous influx into the industry look like a drop in the ocean. Over the past few days, XRP has seen a major surge, and it's been exciting to watch. One of the most fascinating things to analyze is how much money it actually took to trigger this pump. Here's the kicker. The $16.6 billion, 0 cents market cap jump in XRP over the last couple weeks was fueled by just $61 million, 0 cents entering the ecosystem. Let that sink in. $61 million, 0 cents sparked this kind of move. Now, Imagine what happens when institutional investors and high net worth individuals start taking notice. What do you think will unfold when someone decides to allocate 10% of a $1 billion 0 cents portfolio, $100 million cents, into XRP, and they won't be the only ones jumping on this trend. Soon, every major high net worth brokerage, wirehouse, and firm aiming to stay ahead in capital investments will follow suit. And for the first time ever, XRP will sit right alongside Bitcoin, front and center. The result? A tidal wave of money flooding into the ecosystem. That $61 million 0 cents pump we're seeing now, it'll barely register on the charts. Most people don't realize how massive this shift will be. For years, the cryptocurrency market was stuck in a liquidity drought. Big money couldn't flow in because it was seen as uncompliant. But the moment that perception shifts, everything changes. Mines will open and the floodgates will follow. Don't forget, even JP Morgan has already estimated that $8 0 cents to $10 billion 0 cents could rush in just from these ETFs alone. That's no small chunk of change, especially when just a few $1 million flowing into XRP can send its market cap soaring by tens of billions. Now, imagine a day where hundreds of millions or even billions pour into this ecosystem. The charts would go wild, showing movements we've never witnessed before. One major roadblock holding things back for so long was the fact that cryptocurrencies are still in their infancy, seen by many as risky investments. With the shaky economic climate, most people hesitated, thinking maybe it's best to wait before diving into this. But what happens when that hesitation fades? Big things. Earlier today, Polymarket reported a sharp drop in the odds of a recession. And honestly, this is exactly what I've been trying to hammer home to you all. There was never any solid data to back up the panic about an impending recession. People have been in overdrive, stressing about inflation and tariffs wreaking havoc on the US economy. But here's the thing. Inflation was basically already under control. And those tariffs, they're nothing more than a bargaining tactic by President Trump. Yet, the hysteria spread like wildfire. Investors dumping assets, stockpiling cash, convinced a recession was imminent. The problem, nobody stopped to dig into the facts. All the so-called threats they were panicking about weren't long-term issues at all. They were temporary blips hyped up by the media to stir the pot, provoke outrage, and fuel dissatisfaction with the administration. I tell you, that's a separate conversation. What I'm saying is everyone was so busy reacting to headlines, they completely overlooked the hard data showing why these assets shouldn't have taken such a hit. Panic won over reason. If you could see past the noise, it was clear this macro news would have zero real impact on XRP. In fact, it might have even been bullish. Why? Because people were getting it wrong and eventually they'd figure it out and rush back in. It was obvious. Over the past few weeks, the best move was to block out the chatter and recognize the market was missing the bigger picture. A tariff threat by Trump that was never going to happen, that was never going to derail the long-term vision of digitizing the financial system. In a world where trust between nations is fading fast, the need for trustless, neutral systems to drive business has never been clearer. That fundamental idea remains rock solid. Those who panicked over what a tariff might mean for XRP missed the bigger picture. They lost sight of the groundbreaking potential they were holding and got shaken out by short-term headlines. But the ones who stayed calm, who understood that their investment is tied to something far greater and more transformative, are now reaping the rewards. XRP has pushed through every major resistance, proving its resilience and rewarding those with the vision to stay the course. This morning, XRP made a dramatic move, surging above the 250 level and pulling itself out of the danger zone of slipping below the crucial $2 mark. With this jump, it's reclaimed vital support from before the sell-off even started, shaking off any downward momentum. We've been anticipating this shift for a while now, and after countless discussions on the channel, it seems XRP has finally completed its long-awaited reversal. Now it's setting its sights on brand new all-time highs. If we can hold steady and trade sideways for the next couple of weeks to lock in this support, there's a strong chance we'll see XRP back in the $3 range sooner than we imagined. Many people got shaken up, reacting to news that had zero real impact on their investments. Meanwhile, the world is waking up to the reality. This technology, despite short-term fear and noise, is set to become a game changer, commanding valuations unlike anything we've seen before. These are the digital assets we're laser focused on. This is the transformation we're driving. No wave of short-term panic can change the fact that the system is overdue for a massive upgrade, and everyone knows it's time to make it happen. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you found this update valuable.